Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up if you are in nursing school right now with me, because we are basically sisters and brothers right now. We are entering into a new phase of life. Like, this is, to be a nurse is like on a different level. Sorry, no offense to anybody else, but nurses are just different. So definitely give this video a thumbs up. So clinical is my favorite because I'm definitely a hands-on learner. I loved, like I said, I love my clinical side. I love my clinical instructor. I love my clinical group. It was 8 of us, all women. We were paired off into groups of two, so 4 groups of 2, and we were assigned to one nurse each group, and kind of did the vitals for her workload, and then we chose one patient to do our entire report on. So head to toe assessments, and once we were able to pass out medications, we did that. But before then, we did still have to know their medications, just what they did and anything important about them. We all had to do a nursing process paper on one patient. We couldn't have the same patient, and it was extensive. It was very extensive. I think my paper was 38 pages. Now, most of it was filling out the information about the patient. It wasn't really your typical paragraphs and paragraphs of pages. It was more of a fill in the blank, answer questions about the patient, and then go from there. We had kind of like a head to toe portion, history of the patient, their presenting problem, and we had a care plan section. We also had to do a nursing care plan for another patient earlier, not the same patient as the process paper. So I had 2 care plans that I had to do that my teacher checked. And the first one was horrible. I did really bad. I didn't get it. I did not understand what a care plan was or what you needed. I didn't understand um, nursing diagnosis. Like, I did not get that. And then by the time I did my nursing care plan, I kind of got the idea of what a nursing diagnosis was and how to write it, because in my job, I'm a medical biller and I deal a lot with the medical diagnosis. So nursing diagnosis was very, very different for me, and I just wasn't grasping it. But now I got it, and my nursing process paper, my teacher loved it, and she wanted to like use it for an example for the upcoming class. So that was really reassuring, because I seriously had no idea what I was doing with the first nursing process, or with the first care plan. No idea. And then with the second care plan, she was like, "This is so much better. Like, you got it." I figured out how to make it make sense to me, and so that was pretty cool. My school, we go to clinical for 8 weeks, and we were there for about, I want to say that we were there for 7 to 8 hours a day, which is a long time. My clinicals were on Sundays, by the way, so that was really hard. Like, I got one weekend day, and that, Saturday's your day to do everything. You do all your errands, you see people, you go to brunch, that's what you do on Sundays. But I had to study and stuff because I couldn't really study after getting to the hospital at 6 a.m., leaving at 3 or 4, and then what? Your dog tired, and then you got to study some more. When it's just, it was difficult. And so I hope this next semester I don't have clinical on a weekend, because I'm being really sad. Um, so we'll just see. But like I said, clinical was my favorite part. Never being in a hospital before and never working in a clinical setting, um, I was very unnerved every day because I wasn't sure what I was going to see. I didn't know what I was going to be assigned to, who I was going to be assigned to, what that person would have. And so some of the things I had to experience and deal with while I was in the hospital was experience 2 different isolation patients. They were both contact isolation, so I got to gown myself and get kind of comfortable with that. I got to experience a patient that was unresponsive, and so still you learn how to still communicate with the patient even though they can't communicate back with you. I got to see colostomy bags, 2. I believe I saw 2 colostomy bags. I saw a whole bunch of wound vacs. I got to see a patient that was a paraplegic, so it was interesting learning how to help that patient and maneuver for that patient essentially, and also try to help them to be independent at the same time. it wasn't at least direct care. I got to view how to care for this patient. I got to view what to dry dressing change. I got to view a Foley insertion, and then I assisted my classmate with Foley removal. Um, I feel like I'm pretty good at a bed bath now. Pretty good at changing an occupied bed, and those were things that I was really kind of nervous about in the beginning because, like I said, never had experience with a patient outside of checking a patient in. I never experienced a patient, never in a hospital setting. So it was like a really, really good semester for me. Now that I am able to pass meds, I did a few AccuChecks. I was so scared to do my first AccuCheck. I don't know why. Like, if they have diabetes, they're pretty used to, AccuCheck. I don't know why I was so nervous about it, but I did it, and that pretty much sums up my semester. I was really, really pleased with myself. The one thing that I will say is that I did get very stressed out, and I very rarely get stressed out, and if I do, it's short term. Like, it doesn't last maybe more than a week. So for this to be kind of a long-term amount of stress on my body, I didn't expect it to come out this way. The way my stress manifested was I lost my appetite. I stopped eating. I did not eat as much as I should have. In response to that, I lost weight. So that was something very different for me. Also, with that, I wasn't getting as much sleep. I kept, I tell you, I kid you not, I kept waking up like several times in the middle of the night thinking that I was going to oversleep for a test or for clinical. And so I would be waking up probably every 2 hours, checking my phone, checking my alarm clock to make sure I didn't miss my alarm. And, in response to that, it affected my body overall. I'm pretty sure my acne was flaring up. My acne flares up all the time anyway. I'm trying to figure that out because it's very annoying. My goal for this semester coming up is to get a hold of how I handle my stress and my situations. I'm going to cut down on a lot of my extracurricular activities and pull back from some of those things because I do know that med-surg is more intense of the course, and I do not want to start on a bad foot. I'm trying to get this A. So I need to focus way more than I did with fundamentals. So I've already started reading my book, and class starts in about a week and a half. So I'm trying to get a heads up on that, and then I really need to start probably meal prepping so I am able to eat good food that's prepared prior to when I'm hungry. And I also stopped working out, which was not good either. So I need to figure out how to get my exercise in, get enough food in, and so that I can be healthy and do really well in school. If you are already a nurse and you have any advice, I would love to hear it in the comments. If you remember anything from fundamentals or med-surg that would be beneficial for me and other people, please leave leave some words in the comments. And go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that you can get all of my updates. Go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I feel like Instagram is definitely a great community to meet people and to talk to people and share your experiences. And so if you have anything specific that you will want me to talk about, let me know. I'm definitely planning to do a video about dosage calculations because I got 100% on my test, and I helped my classmate with my method of the way I do dosage calc because it's very similar to how you do chemistry. If you haven't taken chemistry, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you've never taken chemistry, it is very, very easy. So I will definitely give you guys a video about that. I'll see you next time. Happy New Year.